What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since '03 and eager to see this team getting back to playing winning basketball. I did not expect to be put on the edge of my seat tonight watching the Summer League, but that is exactly what just happened as the Detroit Pistons fall to the New York Knicks by 1 point. They had a couple opportunities to win the game at the buzzer, and it was pretty surprising they were even in that position, considering that they were down by like 15 points at the third quarter mark. So wild game. Typically, we hop right into individual player performances, but I do just kind of want to talk about the end of the game because it was just kind of crazy. If you guys didn't catch the game, the Pistons were down by 1 point with 13 seconds remaining. They had the ball. Sasser was able to get an open three. He missed the three. Ron Holland got the offensive rebound, which was impressive in traffic, but he did miss the putback bunny, which led to the Pistons having to foul, and then they forced a 5-second clock to get another chance to go ahead and shoot a game winner, and Marcus Sasser missed again. So pretty disappointing considering that they had 3 good looks to shoot go-ahead buckets with less than 10 seconds remaining, and they missed all 3. But nevertheless, can't be too upset because they fought hard to even get back into that game because they were down by like 15 points at one point, and it just kind of felt like it was out of hand. But that's 3 games in a row where they were down by more than 10 points. And all 3 of those games, they came back. The last 2 before this one, they ended up winning. And this one, they had 3 chances, 3 decent looks to win the game. And they just happened to miss all 3. So I'm really not going to stress about 1 or 2 or 3 clutch shots that were missed. It's really not a big deal. I would have loved to see any of those 3 shots go, the 2 from Sasser or the putback from Ron, but it's whatever. It's the Summer League, and these wins and losses will be forgotten about within the matter of months, or if not weeks or days. So definitely don't want to stress on it too hard, but either way, it was fun to watch, and games like that are exactly why I love the Pistons and basketball in general. So super excited that I was able to at least see a fun game, even if it didn't turn out exactly how I hoped. And to speak real quickly on where that puts us in the Summer League now, if the Pistons were to have like smoked the Knicks tonight, they would have had a chance to get to the Summer League playoffs. They only take the top 4 teams. But since they finished 2-2, that definitely won't happen. So they will get scheduled for a consolation game, which will be played on Sunday. So their last Summer League game will be on Sunday. And once that gets announced, we'll put a video out on this channel talking about it before and after the game as well. So now that we kind of talked about some of the crazy ending of that, we'll hop right into the individual performances, starting with Marcus Sasser. Marcus Sasser had a pretty decent game tonight in my eyes, despite missing 2 game-winning shots, just because he did score his Summer League high of this year of 24 points on only 14 shots. The way he was able to do that was just by getting to the free throw line a lot, which isn't something that Sasser is particularly great at, but he was being a lot more aggressive trying to get downhill and to the hoop, get to his floater game, which I do like. I like his floaters a lot. And that led to him shooting 11 for 13 from the free throw line, which I definitely do like to see. Anytime you can score 24 points on 14 field goal attempts, that's good in my book. No way you can slice it and not be, so I was pretty happy with that. He did have 5 assists to 4 turnovers. And it seems like as the Summer League has gone on, Sasser has kind of went away from what I feel like they were trying to get him to showcase a little bit at the Summer League, which is kind of a development as more of a true point guard, and just getting back to being the Marcus Sasser we know, which is a Marcus Sasser that can score the ball. So he was able to do that tonight despite missing those 2 last shots in the last 10 seconds, which I would have loved to see him make. But either way, not a bad performance from Marcus Sasser. He did a few good things on defense as well, playing against Tyler Kolek, who I think is a pretty good point guard. So not a bad game. Definitely nothing crazy like a 40-point game he had last year in the Summer League, but overall, I can't be upset with it. Now we're going to talk about Ron Holland. So Ron Holland, at the start of the game, I was like kind of thinking, probably have to say about what I've said about him in the past couple of videos, which is there's a lot to like and there's a lot to work on, which I think does remain true, but he had a stellar 4th quarter. His motor is so strong, like, even at the start of the game, right? He got blocked twice in the 1st quarter, and I was like, all right, like, Ron Holland's a pretty athletic guy. He's crafty with the ball. Don't want to see him getting blocked over and over again, but even one time when he did get blocked, his motor allowed him to get the ball back and then make a pass for another shot. And I think stuff like that is just something you can't really teach, especially when you combine it with the athleticism he has. And I'm just really excited for Ron Holland to be on this team. I think that there is so much potential there. Like, you can see the raw potential in him every time he plays. He got in the open court, had another huge dunk. Seems like that's just something you can factor in every summer league game, as Ron Holland's going to punch one that makes you kind of jump off your seat. So super fun player to watch. I would have loved to see him make that putback bunny, but the fact he even got the O board and all that traffic just speaks to his athleticism, his motor, his nose for the ball, all of that. And also, too, he did shoot 5 3-pointers tonight. Now, he only made one of them, and overall, he wasn't particularly inefficient, shooting 8 for 19 from the field. But his jump shot is maybe a little better than I thought. And that's because I don't really pay that much attention to the percentages, especially in one game. So just looking at his mechanics and everything, he shoots the ball a little bit more comfortably than I thought he kind of maybe would be. It's not like Asar. And if you guys have watched my videos, you know I definitely think highly of Asar. But when Asar shoots the ball, it doesn't look comfortable. It looks uncomfortable. When Ron Holland shoots the ball, it's not like that. It's not a great, perfect, 10 out of 10 Klay Thompson-esque shot, but it doesn't look broken, and it looks like it can be improved on pretty quickly. So I do have a feeling that Ron Holland has a pretty clear path to being an average three-point shooter at least. He made 3 of 3 from free throws, so that's also good to see. Overall, pretty decent game from Ron Holland. I think every game, he gets a little bit more comfortable every game. And as the games go on, once he gets into a little bit of a groove, I feel like the game starts to kind of be a little bit easier for him to comprehend and not really overthinking things. And it seems like as every game goes on, he's getting a little bit better. And throughout those games, in the fourth quarter, especially tonight, it seemed like he was really comfortable. So definitely a decent game from Ron, but I'd love to see that put back going. It didn't, but no worries. And the last guy I do want to talk about individually is Bobi Klintman. And Bobi Klintman, again, didn't have like a crazy scoring night with only 9 points, but just like the past couple games where his scoring was down a little bit last game too, he was doing everything else, and the passing is what just absolutely blows my mind. The first couple games, he had some nice passes that were like, okay, this guy can see the floor well. Tonight, he had a few passes that had a little bit of flashiness to him. He had one where he put some English on it behind his head and then relocated to shoot the 3. He missed the 3, but either way, it was still just a great find on the pass. And then he did have another pass on the fast break where he threw up a nice lob to Ron Holland for another Ron Holland flush. So that was super exciting. 5 assists tonight with 3 turnovers. When he kind of starts to dribble and take things off the bounce a little bit, it's not perfect at all, even good right now, to be honest with you. I've seen him kind of lose the ball when he tries to go to work a couple times now. He traveled once when he caught the ball and tried to attack a closeout, but overall, he does really everything on the floor. He just seems to move around the floor well, the off-ball movement, all of that type of stuff. He's not afraid to shoot the ball whatsoever. There's not been a time yet during the summer league where he catches the ball and he has a good look at a 3 and he doesn't take it. So I like that mentality out of him. But I do want to see him get to the hoop a little bit more. I haven't seen him drive and finish around the hoop very much in the summer league at all. He's drove and kicked really well, but I haven't seen him drive and finish too much. Mostly everything that he's done in the paint has been in transition. I haven't seen too many plays where in the half court he attacks any of these closeouts and goes over top of someone or around someone to finish. It's normally a pass out, which they're pretty and they're great, and a lot of times it's the right basketball play, almost every time it is. But I would be curious to know what he's like finishing around the rim in a half court setting, because I don't think we got to see a lot of that in the summer league. Either way, we've got one summer league game left. That one was exciting. Probably the most exciting summer league game, even though we did lose it. It was 1 point. Not a big deal. Tyler Kolek is good. That 360 pass he had, even as an opposing team, I had to kind of tip my cap to that one because that was nice. I was a fan of him at Marquette. And yeah, it was a fun game overall, even though despite the loss, it's not a big deal. It's a summer league. I think that there was a lot of good things to take away from it. A couple things to work on. So yeah, catch up with y'all soon.